Hi, friends. Can you believe the Capricorn full moon is already here? That means we are halfway into the year of 2024. Can we even ground ourselves in that information? I feel we know time is going by so much more faster now. Pluto in Aquarius is accelerating our experience of time and the stimulation of time and all time. I'm a karmic astrologer and I like to really consider past, present, and future into our experiences because that is what an alchemist does. And so, considering that we are coming into a full moon and it marks the start of Cancer season, a lot of us are acclimating to a new season. And I'm going to talk a lot about that. I'm going to talk to you about the aspects, about the elements, about the karma, and what this means for us on a collective and how we can best get ready for the next few months ahead, because we are going into completely new territory, which is always exciting for me to see. Capricorn full moon. Now, what can we consider about the start of Cancer season? This particular full moon is going to happen at 1 degree of Cancer in Capricorn. And so it tells us that it's happening right at the start of Cancer season. We're jumping into the messages. And what I think is fascinating is that this year we're going to have 2 Capricorn full moons. So the first one is going to be the 22nd of June. And the second one will be on the 21st of July. And they're, again, both going to be in Capricorn. And the beautiful part of it, the beautiful story is that this one is going to be at the very start of Capricorn at 1 degrees. And the next one is going to be at 29 degrees of Capricorn, which is at the very end. So we are being told a story. Do not underestimate that aspect of Saturn speaking to us right now about the work that we have to do. And it is very heavy in the Capricorn themes, of course, as this is what's taking place, the Capricorn full moon. And so let's dive into what this all means, okay? A Cancer season marks the very start of a new shift and change and trajectory. So when we go into the first cycle, we are in Aries season and everything is brand new. We feel a jolt of energy. We feel revitalized and energized to start a whole year's worth of energy and projects and goals, ambition, milestones that we want to make sure we get ahead. And this is all, for the most part, things that we plan in the cardinal. Okay. Aries has to do with our sense of will, and Aries has to do with our active karma. Aries represents what motivates us today, 2024, in our conscious experience. And this is what we're going to do and seek through our free will. So this is where we go, hey, I am capable of climbing Mount Everest. So I'm going to take that on because I can and I should and I will. Right. And so it doesn't leave a lot of room for the romantic things like cosmos and destiny and faith. It's not so concerned about that. It wants to be expressing what it can do through the physical form. That's Aries, right? So then we come into the next cardinal point in astrology, which is Cancer. And this is the water sign. This is the first water sign of the zodiac wheel. And so Cancer goes into, I understand you have the I am Aries, but magic and esoteric and alchemy all begins through the feelings and the emotions. That's frequency, right? So you can only go as far as your frequency allows you, says magic. And so Cancer comes in to say, where are you calibrated energetically, emotionally? Where are your emotions? Because that is what's going to essentially manifest your feelings, your intuitive perspective, your connection to God, your spiritual awareness. That is the energetic form of what's to come in the physical. And so Cancerian energy brings us the intelligence of we are working in a energetic grid. And we have cell memory, soul memory, and we have a spiritual experience, and we are responsible for our feelings and emotions. We are responsible for our emotional intelligence that can always grow. It's constantly evolving. And this is where we also heal and understand what things make us feel, right? What our triggers are for both sadness and happiness, and our favorite emotions, and ones we want to stay in forever, and ones that we don't want to feel ever again, but have to find a way to figure it out when we do come into those harder feelings. So this Cancer represents emotional intelligence, and on the human scale, on the human perspective. On the worldly scale, it has to do with the archetype of nurture. So Cancer knows exactly what to do for something to survive. If you notice, Cancerian energy doesn't have the bells and whistles. That's reserved for Leo, right? But and this is true for anybody who has a Cancerian parent, mom or dad. It's the basic needs. It's an abundant of the basic needs, but it's concerned primarily on what something needs to grow. So for a human at the birth stage, the human needs love, food, and shelter, warmth. And this is what Cancerian energy is known to do. It's the nurture. It fosters growth. It knows, it can intuitively tune in to what a person needs, or thing, or structure, or business, what something needs for it to continue growing naturally and evolving into the adult version of it that it should be, into the mature version of of what it should be. And you can kind of see this as when Cancer raises this one person, place, or thing, then it turns it over to Capricorn, the opposite side of Cancer. And Cancer says, here, I have a full grown, mature adult. Now give it the structure and the jobs and the responsibility and the ambition that Capricorn holds. And that creates the ultimate mother father archetype that Cancer and Capricorn is known to be. And so we're talking about Cancer, obviously, because the full moon, that means that the sun is in Cancer and the moon is going to be in Capricorn. So all of us are adjusting to now a more intuitive season of our life, and also assessing what the practical version of us looks like. This Capricorn full moon is going to be on June 21st. And for some people, June 22nd. So we have the timing of 9:07 p.m. or 12:07 a.m., depending on where you are all over the world. And one thing to consider about this full moon is that the energy, the elemental makeup of the heavens, we have a lot of water sign in the heavens. We have the sun, Venus, Mercury in Cancer. We also have Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. So at the moment, the heavens has a lot of water energy that is being moved through us. And we're getting teachings and intuitive downloads through the intuition. So I have a bunch of noise in the background going on, and I apologize if you can hear that. When it comes to the second strongest element in the heavens, it's going to be Earth. Okay, so we have the moon, we have Mars and Uranus that are all in Earth signs, bringing us the second wind of what kind of magic is available to us. We have a debilitated air, and I say this because of the South Node being in Libra. So we're figuring out social life. We're figuring out social circles. We're not quite sure who's who and who's going to stay and who's going to go. And if we care about this person or we don't, we're still quite not there. We don't have final answers when it comes to the people in our lives. But all we know is that we have to find ourselves. With the North Node being in Aries, and we also have Chiron in Aries, we're in a space of we have to do this shit so we can know who we are. So we can come into the I am and we can heal all of these experiences that kept us away from ourselves. And right now we're making other people the bad guy, right? Right now is like, you kept me from reaching my potential, and my mom and my dad and my ex and my brother and my sister. Like we're catastrophizing the people around us, but in truth and in reality, it's always our responsibility of not giving our too much of ourselves, not being in any one relationship without discrediting who we are as individuals. So those are the big learning lessons that are happening with the current North Node in Aries. Okay. So when I go into the elemental makeup of this full moon, we are finding our ground of independence after choosing a new tribe. And why do I say we're choosing a new tribe? Well, this Sun, Venus, Mercury conjunction in Cancer is about starting something new, considering the new season, considering that the sun is kind of like joining the party of Mercury and Venus, because Mercury and Venus have been in Cancer for a while now. And so the sun is not the first person to arrive in the Cancer star system. The sun is the third one in. And he's kind of like, hey, what are we doing? What's going on here? Who is here? There's new people here. I didn't know that there was a group already having dinner. I didn't know that there was already people meeting each other here. I didn't know that we had conversations to experience with Mercury also in Cancer. So the sun is almost excited to go into a safe space and be able to relax and be able to sit back and enjoy itself. So full moons are oppositions, right? Full moons is we want to be in two places at one time, or we want to be with the sun, but then the responsibilities of the full moon is saying you can't go there yet. You have to first finish this, and you have to first clean your room before you go and relax. Specific to Cancer and Capricorn energy. So we have this desire to just flop down like bunnies and just hang out and enjoy ourselves, our space, our few new connections, and the food that we have, the comforts that we have. Yet this full moon comes in to say, you actually have some things to do, right? Your house is messy. You cannot relax before you clean up your house, or you did not finish this work assignment. So you have to pay attention to this before you go and chill. And that creates a rift between us, because who wants to do that? Who wants to have responsibility when all you want to do is relax? You just ate a huge meal, your belly's full, you just want to veg out. And Capricorn says you're not allowed to do that. You have to first finish something out. Now, of course, we're going to get so much more detailed about this with the aspects and the energetics behind it. Now, Capricorn to Cancer mapping, I like to map out the heavens whenever I see a natal chart. I like to see what are the signs being activated through the planets. And there's only so much there's only so many months in the year that we can have like clean mapping before it just gets too messy and we have to let that go. But I like to do it at the beginning of every Aries season. I like to kind of follow the clean map that's happening in the heavens. So right now we have a Cancer to Capricorn mapping that's happening. So we have a group of planets that's moving through. Actually, I should say it's Capricorn to Cancer. So we have planets starting at Capricorn Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer. And then the rest of the zodiac signs are kind of just silently watching, silently participating. There's no planet there. So they're just kind of waiting for their season to come. Leo's like, yeah, whatever. One more month and it's me. Right. Virgo's like, I just need to keep cleaning. Like they're all just being quiet and trying to be good. All these, the rest of the zodiac signs that Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, they're just kind of like, tag, we're not it. So we can go to the side. This isn't anything to do with us. Let's go have our own thing. And so the main zodiac signs or zodiac energies that are at focus right now is Capricorn, Aquarius, Saturn, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. All of you guys sit down. We're having a meeting. Okay. And the meeting goes like this. Pluto in Aquarius, Pluto retrograde in Aquarius says, we have a systematic problem. We have a systematic problem. We need to adjust some things right here in our entire system and institution. Some things are jacked up. We need to pay attention to it. We need new, right? So Pluto is taking care of the systematic reconstruction that's happening. And he's going retrograde. Pluto is going to also go back into Capricorn for one last time. And he's really doing the hero's work. To TBH, to be honest, he's really doing the massive, y'all are too scared, so I'm gonna go do this. And we're like, yes, thank you, Pluto, go do that. So he's gonna go talk to Capricorn one last time. He's gonna go talk to the Capricorn system of things and say, sit your ass down, fix this, and we just have to do our part. So we love that for us. But the mapping goes systematic restructure with Pluto in Aquarius. So then we go into Saturn in Pisces as well as Neptune in Pisces, which is saying we have collective healing to do. We have some collective karma to clear out because we all are stuck on the same belief system. All of us are getting jammed intuitively, psychically, emotionally because of the same programming. So this group or this collective is needing to heal. It's needing to come together and rehabilitate itself because it lost itself within the noise of the collective group. All right. So then we go on to the I am knowing, into the Aries energy of the I am. And so now the North Node and Chiron say, now that we have the system being reconstructed and we're also doing collective healing, now that we have that going on, who are we? Who are we as people, as individuals, and as singletons? What are our skills? What are our talents? What are our strengths? How can we contribute individually? And also, what do I like personally? And what gets me motivated? And what's going to get me to jump out from the seat? Those are the Aries questions, right? Besides, look at this fun thing I can climb. So the North Node in Chiron is again saying the story of we need to heal and come into ourselves, our independence, our knowing, our I am. And then we go into the Taurus mapping, the Taurus energy with Mars and Uranus that's saying, hey, even though, so for this full moon, even though Uranus is cracking shit down and restructuring like our material experience and our material world with our money, our finances, the things we own, what we consider to be worthy of owning, selling things and buying new stuff and investing into new areas of material goods. We're figuring all of this out. And this is also fashion too, clothes and how we adorn ourselves, what's luxury and what's necessity. We don't really know. Pluto and Uranus are working together to come up with new norms and new systems. So this is kind of pending for a really long time. These are outer planets. It takes a while. It takes a really long time to redefine an era. And so, for the most part, though, Mars in Taurus is saying, well, we can still work through it. We can still have consistency. Even though we don't know what the new norm is, we still can have consistency. We can still have a part of us that is rooted and grounded. We're going to try to achieve that this month anyway. We're going to try to get that going because it's what we need to feel safe. It's what we need to pay our bills. It's what we need to maintain sanity. And it's also what we desperately need after Jupiter left Taurus to go into Gemini. We desperately need that Mars in there, at least for one more month. Okay. So then we have Jupiter in Gemini that says, so, but you can still talk about what you know, right? We're doing systematic restructuring, we're doing collective healing, we're identifying ourselves, we're still being consistent in our work and money. And so now, how can we keep up our communication? And I think in so many ways, Jupiter in Gemini is the main focus, the star of the show, because Jupiter in Gemini is rehabilitating our trust in people. The South Node in Libra has jacked it up, right? We don't even know who to be loyal to. We don't even know who our true tribe is for the most part. And Jupiter in Gemini says these are new people in your life and or feel so strongly about talking to each other. It's like putting two people in a room and those people are so bored that they have to talk to each other. That's what happens when people don't have air in them, because the air signs, they're talking, right? More than likely, the air signs, if you have air energy in you, in your big three, in your sun, moon, and rising, you're talking. It doesn't matter if it's important. It doesn't matter if it has any truth or validity. Y'all are still talking. You guys are shooting the shit. But the other signs, they're not. If we don't have to, we won't. As a triple fire sign, like if you're not asking me a question, I'm not contributing because I'm figuring my own stuff out, right? And earth signs the same. Earth signs, we're too busy. We're planning stuff. We are working joyfully. And the water signs were like, sorry, don't care. We're feeling. I actually feel like the water signs are more apt to talk to the air signs because the water signs want to be heard and seen and felt. But everybody else has to be forced into this interaction, especially if you are American. Sorry to say, right? Because our sense of community is so what is the word? It's been perverted and almost doesn't exist. So we're like, huh? Talk to each other? That's new. Speak to my neighbor? I avoid her at all times. So Jupiter in Gemini is saying, let's start sharing again. Let's start talking. Let's start working together and sharing what's on our mind, our ideas, and be open to different opinions. Okay. So then we get to the last one, the second to last one, with the Sun, Venus, and Mercury in water and in Cancer, which says embody your water, embody who you are, embody your feelings and your gifts and your abilities to do magic, to talk to God, to have a connection to everything that is alive, all the beings. Everybody can speak through water on Earth. Everybody can speak water, because if you don't have water, you're dead. Right? Animals drink water, people drink water, plants need water. Everything needs water to survive. The universal language is not English. Sorry, Gemini. No, just kidding. Sorry, air signs. No. The universal language is water, emotions, drinking. That is what marks the true human being alive. That's something that is alive. That's when you know something is a fleshly body, because it has water. And so Cancer is where we realize that. Cancer is where we go, oh, wait, I'm not just this Aries, I am, caveman. I can talk to the fish around me, to the trees, to the people next to me. I can talk to these individuals, and there is something unifying us all together. And it's energetic, and I can't touch it or really place it, but it's existing. All right. And so then the last placement we have to talk about is the Capricorn full moon. The Capricorn full moon is like, return to practicality. Yeah, that was cute. That was romantic. Thanks for that, Cancer. But we have Edison bill due. We have all these things to pay, our internet bill, our rent, and the practicalities of life. You have to go get your car fucking registered at the DMV because we have to do that once a year for some reason, right? You can't just be in that romantic space. Welcome back to Earth, and welcome back to the systematic institution that is in place that you have to abide by, because we made a system for you. And it takes us right back to Pluto and Aquarius, where we realize again, ooh, the system gotta go. There's something wrong here. Something's not making sense. The math isn't mathing, right? I can't buy a house. I can't grocery shop in peace. I can't, have a regular job and pay for my bills the way that we used to. So we have to fix this. So a lot of people are going to be in this space of, how can I provide for myself and not stress myself out? All right, let's go more into this, okay? So the aspects on this day are pretty chill, to be honest. They're pretty chill. We only just really have Sun, Moon, Venus conjunct, which is us taking a break. And we have Mercury sextile Mars, which says, I can still get it done. I'm not mad at this full moon. She's behaving. She's behaving. And she's just kind of like, hey, you didn't cross your T's and dot your I's. Focus. Okay. And so Mercury sextile Mars says, I come up with good ideas. I have wit to myself. I'm going to be so clever in handling this one thing I didn't do. So we have support. It's not just chaos, emotional chaos. I also want to say that when it comes to karma, we have one Capricorn full moon happening. Then Saturn goes retrograde. Then we have another Capricorn full moon. So that's a strong karmic whiff. We're just kind of like, what do you mean, Saturn? What does that mean? Esoterically, energetically? Like, what should we do with that? Well, I'm about to tell you. What that means. So I think if you are someone who has Capricorn moon, South Node moon, Chiron moon, Saturn in Capricorn, this is going to be more of a serious time. You have some active personal karma to work through. If you don't have any of these placements, for the most part, you should ride this through. It's not life or death for you, TBH. Not everything has to be catastrophic. You're kind of just needing to sign some documents and move on. Okay. Before we get into this, okay. Let's go into the energetics of the esoteric alchemy. So when it comes to 1 degree of Cancer, which is where the sun is, okay, it's a premature energy. It's a primitive, it's like the very, 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 very start. Cancer 1 out of 29, right? So it's like the very entrance point of Cancer. And what that translates to is commitment. Energetically, it's commitment. It's a point of no return where we're just kind of like acknowledging that we just got on a boat. The boat's taking off and we can't get off this boat. There's no land around us. And therefore, we can't just turn around and go back. And we are committed. So these are the feelings of commitment. These are the feelings of, holy shit, I signed up, I'm here, and now I have to go with it. But the impression that we're getting is that we are it's going through a turning point. So if we're going somewhere new and going into a new journey or direction, we've said goodbye to something else. And we've distanced ourselves from some type of community, some type of environment, work, etc. And so it takes us back to a primitive space, right? So if you picture yourself still being on this boat and you're about to go sail somewhere far, and you're back to survival mode, you're back into the womb, and you go, holy shit, what grew me? What grew me? Because my outside environment has just gone away. I chose a new direction. I'm going to a new place. I left my old place behind, and now I'm committed to a new journey. And so I need to survive this journey from this boat ride to getting off to the next place. I need to survive this. So we go internal into a space of what raised me, what grew me. I need to bring that out to comfort myself and to survive. So we start going into our basic human needs. And we remember our family. We remember the people who loved us. We remember our favorite foods. We remember our favorite shows. We remember all the things we loved that kept us happy and bubbly and cute and nice children. And then we realize that from this grows our extension, from this grows our community, our friends, our environment. And then essentially, we come into a congregation of a habitat. So if I were to kind of break this down through the rites of life, um, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this what I'm looking at. Any decision is a turning point that enacts a commitment to give up on certain possibilities and dedicate ourselves to a given line of direction. At the cardinal point of Cancer 1, we are reminded that the basic unit of human involvement is the family, and by extension, the tribe, the congregation in it that it's in, and then the place of habitation. So it's kind of like our environment becomes an extension of our inner world. So if we go back to that primitive state of that journey that we go on, so we're going from point A to B, but we're on the ship. We go back into the internal part of who raised us. And then from there, once we get to the land, we look for a tribe that supports our inner nurture. So if you are coming out of this boat with, I like milk because milk raised me, milk kept me full. I also like watching Rugrats because it's cute and I just watched them growing up. I also like this favorite blanket. This is the blanket I resonated with that I just always was within as a child. So then you look for that. You look for that in people. Do you like Rugrats? We can be friends if you like Rugrats. Do you like Angelica, Tommy? Right? Do you like milk? We can be friends if you like milk because that's what nurtured me. And then we come into a tribe, we come into a community that has the same interest as you do. And then eventually tribes create institutions, which is what Capricorn is going to talk to us about. Okay. Now, as the polarity grows, as the polarity of Cancer and Cancer 1 and Capricorn 1 rose, we go into how our primitive state essentially creates the whole system. Because when a community gets too big, too large, now we have to create order around it. And we have walked in to the polarity that is Capricorn. And so Capricorn says, this group is too big, said Capricorn. It's too big. We have to order it. We have to bring rules and laws into it, because otherwise this group is going to get out of hand because there's too many of us. So when we look at 1 degree of Capricorn, we're looking at a part of us that wants to rule. It wants to have power, but it's a baby. It's primitive. It's immature. It's 1. It's not yet mature at 29 degrees. That's next month. But this month, it's baby. And it says baby, it's giving baby boss energy. And this concept of 1 degrees of Capricorn says we need to have a sheath. We need to have a person in charge. And also, we don't know who it is. And also, we're just going to pick anybody because we need somebody now. So we're not quite sure if this person qualifies. He's just kind of good enough. And do we get strong leaders from good enough? We really don't. We actually don't. We get grown up babies who are doing their best. I mean, thank God for those brave souls who are willing to step into that space when nobody else wanted to. Everybody else wanted to be in the mothership. But then we have these few souls that say, well, I'll give it a shot. Shit. I'll try to figure it out for you guys. So it has a lot to do with personal power and authority, and when it's appropriate, when it's not, who we can dominate, who we cannot, who we can make decisions off, who we cannot. So sovereignty comes into mind. And the idea that sometimes we do have to make choices that make people uncomfortable, that kind of disturbs the peace of the womb. We kind of sometimes, the extreme opposite of that is the group has to survive. And if we're out at ship or we're about to go into war, then we need to question how things are going. There's some risk we have to be willing to take as a group. It's a crazy place to be. It's a crazy place to be because that's a lot of karma that you're taking on just yourself. Your energy at that point is so much bigger than just the nurture. It's now the nurture of, or the boss, the nurture, the leader of a huge group. And your decisions that you make can and will impact the group. So easily we will see these archetypes come out in our lives. We will see people who are on both polarities, people who are wanting to seek the comfort, and people who are going to be figuring out their powers in a baby way, where they're going to say, I can do this. You listen to me, type of thing. And if you see them out in the wild, you just got to turn around from it. If you see a baby Capricorn barking or doing what they do on this full moon, you just kind of go, well, I know what's happening. Too bad you don't. I'm just kidding. No. Send them this video, podcast video, whatever it becomes. And you understand what's going on because you guys have the advantage. If you're listening to this, you have the advantage to know what's going out in the world. And you don't take the world's unhealed responses to the heavens personal, because you think in your head, well, what you actually need is an astrologer. You're losing your shit. You're fucking freaking out over your karma. You're scared of yourself. You're scared of your life. You're scared of the people around you. You're in this victimized state of mind because of lack of information. And everybody needs an astrologer in their world. Everybody needs a real one, right? A true one that can tell you about the signs of the times. Anyway, you have the upper hand if you're listening to this to know exactly where you are and where you need to go, what you need to do, and how to navigate this. So I'm going to be doing horoscopes coming up. My name is BSMI. I'm a karmic astrologer. I focus on the karmic signatures of the times and of you. I have the Cosmic Alchemy Academy. It's a mentorship where you can join. Anybody can join. It's a group mentorship where you get your dashboard, personal online dashboard of all the classes that we're doing. Every Friday we meet for classes. And you can also do a private mentorship if you want me just exclusively to you. And if you want to get sessions over Zoom, just one-time check-ins, you can always do that on my site. So I hope that this was insightful. Check back in again for the new moon coming up in Cancer. And I will be here to guide you every step of the way. Love you guys so much. Saturn is my favorite planet. Thank you so much for your time.